Ethics is not a practical science. A science teaches us to know and an art to do, but a practical science teaches us to know how to do. Ethics lies midway between science and art. A practical science is concerned with means for the realization of definite end, but ethics cannot be regarded as a practical science. It merely tries to ascertain the moral ideal, but does not lay down rules for the attainment of it. It does not teach us how to live a moral life. It is the business of a normative science to define an ideal, not to lay down rules for its attainment. Ethics, as a normative science, discusses the ideal of goodness or rightness and is not directly concerned with the means by which this ideal may be realized. It gives us the knowledge of guiding principles of life, but does not tell us how to apply them. Though ethics is a normative science, it is not a practical science. It is a theory of morality, and theory is bound to act on practical, but this does not make ethics a practical science. Ethics is not an art. Ethics cannot be regarded as an art. There is no branch of study which can teach us the art of life. Even if it teaches us the moral precepts or rules of moral conduct, it cannot teach us how to realize them in practice. Ethics is a theoretical science. It determines the nature of right and wrong with reference to the supreme good, but it does not teach us the art of living a moral life. It does not lay down moral precepts. It does not teach us how to correct our passions, resist temptation, strengthen our will and cultivate a virtuous life. Thus, ethics is neither a practical science nor an art. It is simply a normative science. Is ethics a science? A science deals with a particular department of phenomena. It deals with a limited portion of our experience, but ethics deals with the whole of our experience like philosophy. Mackenzie regards ethics as part of philosophy. It deals with the whole of human experience, but only from the point of view of will and activity. It considers man as doing or pursuing an end, but not as knowing or feeling. Ethics should be treated as a normative science. It is a science in so far as it deals with moral phenomena as distinguished from other kinds of phenomena. It observes and classifies moral phenomena and explains them by the moral ideal. It distinguishes moral judgments from logical and aesthetic judgments and reduces them to a system. Therefore, its method is scientific. It is the business of ethics to determine what human good is, but metaphysics investigates the nature of the universe and the cosmic good or the goal of the universe. So, ethics is not a part of metaphysics. Ethics should not be identified with metaphysics for three reasons. 1. It assumes the validity of moral judgments and seeks to reduce them to a system. 2. It abstracts the moral value from the logical value and the aesthetic value. 3. It abstracts the judgments of value from the judgments of fact. Metaphysics investigates the ultimate validity of the judgments of value as well as the judgments of fact. True metaphysics is metaphysics of ethics. So, ethics should not be regarded as a part of metaphysics, but ethics as a normative science closely approaches philosophy. In determining the moral ideal or the highest good of man, ethics has to transcend observation. In order to inquire into the validity of the moral ideal, ethics has to enter into philosophical investigation. The question of the validity of moral judgments leads us to the discussion of the ultimate nature of reality. But metaphysical problems involved in ethical investigation are only assumptions. Ethics does not inquire into their ultimate nature and validity. The existence of God, the immortality of the soul, and freedom of the will are the postulates of morality, but these postulates are not proved by ethics. Hence, ethics should be regarded as the normative science of conduct and not as a part of philosophy. Ethics is not a natural science too. Normative science is different from natural or descriptive science. One deals with judgments of value while the other deals with judgments of fact. Normative science deals with what ought to be, while natural science deals with what is. Natural science is concerned with facts or events, and normative science deals with a standard of value. Ethics is different from natural science, firstly, because it does not investigate what is. It is the science of the ought, the ideal good. It investigates the nature of the ultimate good of human life. Secondly, because it explains man's voluntary actions not by their invariable antecedents or causes, but by reference to the ideal of the highest good. Third reason for the distinction is that it treats man as self-conscious being, whereas the natural science treats man as a biological animal. Man is conscious and also self-conscious. He is conscious of his relation to nature and society. He is a spiritual being seeking to realize ideals. Human conduct and character, which involve the moral ideal, cannot be explained by their antecedent physical, philosophical or mental events. Hence, ethics is not a natural, positive or descriptive science.